Versus Splyce. Spotted Rift Rivals on the line, championship points, paving that path to Worlds for both of these lineups. See a lot of fans ready in the crowd, see how Kobbe does. What can he do? Can he show up proud as a Dane? Today on that stage with that Tristana, we are going to find out as we get into game one here.
What magnificent stone. Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
A brief scenic pause, Vedius, before the killing begins on both sides.
You
and
see
we
the
can.
Danish nature.
30 seconds until you
Denmark is so beautiful.
So flat as well. See, no mountains.
It looks so much like every other League of Legends map, but it's just a little extra special to Fujio.
Cleaner, cooler, crisper. Now, we also have a nice new overlay to appreciate as well, given that it is the finals weekend. And it's going to be very exciting to see how the early game does go, because Vitality in classic Vitality style, we've already discussed it a lot in the draft. They want to try and make stuff happen in the early game. Jizuke and Gilius, that combo together did so much work in the semi-final.
And of course, in tonight's third place decider, we're going to be bringing you the match through the eyes of Jizuke. You can hit up twitch.tv/RiotGames2 to check out the new, still in beta, POV stream. If you see any issues, let our team know. But for now, you're going to see why Amazing thinks Jizuke is the best Talia in EU. Find out if it's true. But for now, we're going to keep an eye on level 1. Looks like it's going to go in. That's going to be 4 stacks. Not quite going to connect. Yes, it is. That is the stun, the follow-up immediately. Gilius goes down. Good start for Splyce.
Thank you, Gilius, for teaching everyone at home a lesson here. Do not face check on your own, especially 1 minute and 30 seconds into a game where you have no clue if the enemy team is going to stand around. Splyce gets a free first blood. What a great start.
Oh, Gilius, it is so important for you to have an early game impact. And so far, your early game impact has gone in the favor of Splyce. This is not how you want to start off your game. Definitely not how you want to start off the best of 5. Let's see if Gilius can bounce back after that first blood.
Maybe a bit of a struggle, but luckily for him, he has the power in the bottom lane. The Caitlyn Karma going to keep the pressure up as Gilius looks like he'll be okay on his own for now. Maybe this is a chance for Xerxes to get in there, to punish, to show us a little bit more than he did in the semifinals.
Well, at least we'll get ahead in terms of the camps on his side. But another thing about Vitality and this draft, like, respect to Splyce for saying, you know what, Vitality, we will give you your comfort picks. Sion top lane has been the best tank for Kobbe because he can roam mid. There's, of course, early game jungler for Gilius where he can be impactful. And then this Talia that has won so many games already for Vitality. It is pretty ballsy, but it is a game 1 of a best of 5, and you can do this.
And I want to see exactly where the junglers are going to look to impact first, because they are so key to both of these teams, to both of these lineups. So much has been about Snowball and Jizuke. See where Xerxes wants to put his attention. Is it mid lane? Is it top lane? Where exactly does he want to go?
And last week when we saw Vitality going up against Fnatic, a lot of it was Jizuke pushes, he groups up with Gilius, they then look to roam around the map, often going towards the top side. And Gilius was just so impactful in coordinating this, working with the jungler to make stuff happen. But for Xerxes, he kind of struggled to have that same impact, and it was so important for Splyce because he is the main catalyst of this team. He is the one that enables a lot of the early game action and a lot of the later game team fights.
Hey, you want to get him off on the right foot, give him a first blood. It's going to be a good look. You want to have her bot lane. Do you see a bit of aggression there? Rocket jump forward actually going to get started. Exhaust goes down, but not going to be able to connect the winner's bite. So no stun is going to come through quite yet, but in comes. Oh, are they going to be able to find it? Not quite enough damage. They do manage to get one. Are going to try to find the follow-up. That is a sleepy Karma. It could just be the double coming in here. Nissy's got enough time. The cooldowns are coming in. Aggression in the early game from Splyce, and it's looking good.
It is not often we see Splyce play around the bottom side early game and try and force kills, but Kobbe and Kasing, they jumped forward 2v2 with this Braum pick now that we normally do not see from Kasing. They went for the kills because they knew Nisqy was roaming down. Big change for Splyce down the bottom lane, and they got a bunch of kills.
And what a statement. The fact that Kobbe in his home crowd just jumps in without any fear in the 2 versus 2, wanting to assert his dominance, knowing that Nisqy was on the follow-up. They're able to find a double kill. Even though Kobbe loses his life, they get what they want in the bottom lane.
And it's so important, Nisqy also is picking up something for himself because he's of course leaving a lane. He's not going to get any CSO experience. If he went bot and got nothing, he would be behind against this Talia. But now, 2 extra kills on his side. Buncha goes Xerxes bot lane. We might get more
again. Jackal doesn't have a good way
He's
out.
dead.
Has the flash available. Going to try to make it out, but Kobbe just leaves it forward again. Stun going to go down. Not quite enough. They're now trying to back off. Gilius is here. Could look for the fight. Kobbe now the one in trouble. They want to turn it back. Mini Trueback's going to grab one. Might just look for 2 as Kasing is running for his life. The undertow connects. He's slowed down. The trap is there to stop the pathing. That's going to be fired back on both sides. Gilius where he needs to be to make this happen for the team.
Yeah, Gilius being the hero here. Jizuke once more.
fight just keeps on going. That's already one down. Niski gonna try to poke back. Maybe he can find the solo kill. Wants to take down Jizuke. Now on the hunt, but buys a bit more time. The sidestep. Gilius is here as well. Niski needs to run the Undertows Connect. That's all but a death sentence. There's the speed up, the flash out. Gilius, is he gonna go for it? Decides to back off. But gentlemen, this is not quite the bloodbath we expected.
But this is what we wanted, Dracos. Non-stop action. First game in the best of 5. Vitality and Splyce. They are not afraid to force things. And there in that situation, Splyce, they felt like, hey, we've got our jungler down bot. We can look to try and punish the fact that Jack Troll is warding by himself. Unfortunately, they were not expecting Gilius to be lying in wait in the bottom side of the map.
There's also a chance they expected this Karma to not have flash. But it was saved after the last one. Jack Troll didn't use it when he died. So suddenly when Splyce show up and they actually jump forward, he gets to flash away instantly, and now you overextended Gilius, though. Fantastic start on his side after giving up a first blood. He then comes in now, gets 3 assists, bounces back everything that just happened on the bottom side, and now it's Vitality leading.
Look at the gold difference, almost 1,000 in favor of Vitality, and look at the way the gold has been distributed. You see 2 kills for Niski in the mid lane, that looks good, but I see 2 kills for Caitlyn on the bottom side. BF sword to just about nothing on the side of Kabe.
So rough. Caitlyn versus Tristana, you want to have that early lane lead, but this is just ridiculous, having that kind of advantage after Splyce were the main aggressors in this 2 versus 2. Vitality looking very promising in the game.
Now it's interesting, we did talk a little bit about Kasing. Has been playing a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more forward. There was a big question as to was he going to be able to bust out these melee supports, and it looks all right, but feels like Splyce, who's getting overconfident on the bottom side, has turned against them.
So already 6 minutes into the first game, we have to kind of look at Splyce and their mindset going into it, because they obviously said we can try and draft a different bot lane from what we normally do. We can punish the bot lane of Vitality. We're going to surprise them. Peter Dunn, the coach, is sitting backstage being happy with the draft, and then he sees this. And now you wonder, are they going to change it completely already for next game, or can they bounce back in this one? It feels like if they don't try and help the bot lane again, they're just going to fall further behind.
And the moment Vitality get that early tower in the bottom lane, this is where Vitality shine. They know exactly what to do with early leads. We've heard from so many teams that in scrims, these guys are monsters in the early game, and they know how to snowball so effectively. So the fact that Vitality have found this advantage now, picking themselves up, and Infernal Drake, everything looking positive for the boys in yellow.
Kasing, though, looking for a little bit of a contest here. Fine a bit of time. Out comes the Weaver's wall. He's going to be trapped in there. Does he have an option to get out? Kabe? Block, but I don't think they have enough time. He's running away. He's not going to get it. Yet another kill. A slow burn, but more fights in the Dragon Pit. Jack Troll gets taken out in the meantime. Kills left and right. Nobody with a clear edge there.
Once again, more action on the bottom side. The top laners, they're just kind of sitting and farming against each other, clicking tab a few times, and then seeing suddenly there's 9 kills in this game. We're not even 10 minutes in. A lot of it, of course, is on Mini Trupax. He's been part of all the kills for Vitality. He is so far ahead. And I feel bad for Copy. First game at home, and this happens.
But while it is Mini Trupax who's been picking up the kills for Vitality, on the side, Niski has been doing the same. 3-0-1 on his first time Zoe from the spring split, and he is off to a fantastic start. He comes in from the flank trying to help out his team. Fortunately, Karma does still not have flash, is trapped in the pit, and it allows Splyce to trade support for support.
Jack Troll sadly realizing that his team, they think killing the enemy support is more important than saving their own support. So they just leave. Jizuke jumps in, takes down Kasing with Mini Trupax, and of course, as you highlighted, Jack Troll left on his own.
We want to know if there was an answer to Jizuke's Talia. It's been such a pivotal pick, and Niski has been so active across the map. It's good to see that there is an answer to dealing with that Talia in the mid lane.
I mean, the answer so far for Splyce, kind of unsuccessful based on what's happened. Jizuke's ulti is going to be ready soon, and he can look for another play. Niski tried with the early roams, got a few kills for himself, so good for him. Sadly, his bot lane fallen very far behind because of it.
Just looking at some of the vision that's been spread out, because we haven't even had an opportunity, given all the fights that have happened so much. You can see that Splyce have invested pretty heavily towards the bottom side of the map. They've been trying to prep for these bot lane roams, but due to all the skirmishes, due to the fact that Jizuke was able to find the opportunity after the Drake fight, has aided Splyce a huge amount.
Okay, I want to always follow Kabusha when he leaves his lane, because he loves to just ult to mid lane. Force a play, force a flash, see if he can use that to further snowball Jizuke. He's still around, he might just be doing the Rift Scuttler at the moment, taking that on top side, but that control ward he just placed in the top side river could be used to hide his play if he comes towards bottom side. But for now, it's still around bottom lane, of course, in this game. We might get more kills.
I feel like Vitality right now, their main focus is taking that tower down. Explains why Gilius is hanging around the bot side. They have gained vision control throughout the river. You would expect Jizuke to be looking for a roam in the near future to just solidify that tower and then start moving this Caitlyn around the map.
Jizuke on the way. Ultimate not quite available yet, but Gilius hungry for a bit of action on the bottom side. Now the jungler's there. Xerxes there to follow up if they go too deep, but Vitality just taking it slow and steady.
And we keep seeing this push. We know also mid lane, Jizuke will just instantly kill the wave so he can move first with that ulti, and Niski can't follow as fast. It's gonna be a problem for Splyce if they try and contest bot lane, knowing that 5 members of Vitality will be there instantly.
For now, though, just pushing back and forth, slowly chunking down. But Gilius, maybe a bit of blood in his eyes. He's going to push forward, does get stunned up. Immediately going to use the Ragnarok, though. Wants to find the follow-up. Chilling Smite to get a bit extra movement speed, but not a whole lot else. Just a trade of blows there in the end.
Yeah, so Gilius initially started to win the trade, then he realized Xerxes, oh, he's on his Spire and he's in his own half of the jungle. You don't want to really continue on this push.
Close.
This is just able to get out with his life. Now Xerxes looking for an opportunity mid, does have
Trying
Flash.
to zone out. Ooh, Flash is traded. No ulti going to connect there from Xerxes.
Hey, also we got to recognize Jizuke running cleanse. He's learned from last week, gentlemen. He did run the heal in his series versus Fnatic, and that was a large part as to why he ended up falling behind during the laning phase.
Won't help too much, unfortunately, against the Skarner ulti, but will definitely stop Niski from getting the clean
Depends on
setup
who you
there.
ask. If you ask,
You ask Riot
Game support, then it'll definitely help. But Gilius is still around bottom side. There's full vision, full vitality. Oh, they're jumping him. I mean,
Looking for the collapse on the Gilius. Walking forward, they know that he just does not have ultimate, because Sync with the ulti is available, is going to try to connect on it too, but Cabo is there as well. Niski on the backside, that's going to be one taken down. Many true packs, but fired back as Gilius drops as well. Odoamne gets the TP in. The Cho'Gath looking for a little bit more action. They take down the Karma. Double comes in for Splyce.
So the big thing here was the fact that we had Jizuke back in base, he couldn't move fast enough, and then Splyce set up a play. Gilius walks into the enemy jungle, wants to see what's happening. No flash, no ulti, and instantly Splyce react. Despite falling behind in this bottom lane, they continue playing aggressive, and we gotta give them credit for that.
Yeah, I love the proactivity that we're seeing from Splyce. So Gilius walking straight over a ward. Very easy for Splyce to go the immediate punish. Because saying slight misplay, fortunately he does have the blast gun to help facilitate his team, and then the teleports come in.
Yeah, of course, top laners instantly trying to be here and fight as well. Odoamne knows there's no flash on Jack Troll, and once again, it is the poor support for Vitality being left behind, and he goes down. But VIT, there's a very important thing that Gilius didn't really understand here. That is, if you do not have a mid laner in the mid lane pushing, you shouldn't invade the enemy jungle.
It's true, Deficio. I feel like that we've seen that multiple times throughout the regular season, but Gilius clearly not learning his lesson and not showing enough respect. Now, Niski continuing to pick up kills though, 5-0-1
Oh yeah,
now.
he's fed.
The last time he was 5-0-1 was on Kassadin in the quarterfinals versus Roccat, and he moved off to the side lane. He had limited impact on the Kassadin in the past. We'll see if he can have a little bit more of an impact now on the zone.
It's just good to see that Splyce are coming and trying to play aggressive early. Of course, a lot of focus was around bot lane, but also with mid, because Niski just kept roaming in to join the fights and pick up all the kills for himself. So it's been a very fun first game, and when we see Splyce play more aggressive, it kind of sets up the rest of the series to be early game aggression for both teams.
But we've got to remember how important that Baron will be as well for Splyce. The Cho'Gath, the Zoe potential around the objective, Tristana given how quickly he'll take it, and the Skarner as well when he sets up that Spire. Splyce have such good Baron taking speed that Vitality have to make sure they maintain control.
And I just want to see if they can find a clean opportunity to take it. Such a risky moment for, I think, a lot of teams in Europe. We haven't really seen anyone be very clean on their Baron takes, but now we may have another fight. Gilius on the retreat here, Predator on the way, unstoppable, not going to get sleepy. Is going to find the knockback on a Niski, though. A lot of damage. Not quite finding the kill yet, but here comes the TP.
Oh, he flashed for that.
Axe. There's the wall. Jizuke in the middle of everybody. Kasing's in trouble. Mini True Packs now unstoppable, and Xerxes on the run. He's not going to get it. The knockup from Cabo. Vitality getting in.
Cabochard's TP was not used in the fight before, so he could join this one while Odoamne stuck bot lane. Splyce realized too late. Had to try and run away, but Vitality, of course, they punished him. We always see these aggressive plays. They never back down.
You think Gilius is out of position? No. It is simply a bait, gentlemen. See here, he's running through the river. He's like, hey, my team is around me. You guys can chase me. I have the ultimate. And then Jizuke with the Talia plays the TP flank from the side, as you identified. it's made all the more worse the moment Jizuke comes in with the ultimate and they come in for the cleanup.
Oh, and see the big play. Oh, it's about the blast gun. Nope. Interrupts him, doesn't get over in time, and now, oh, he's gonna die.
Goodbye. Nice of you to join us in the top lane very briefly there, sir.
Very interesting kind of buff for Caitlyn was when TP was changed so that you always appear behind the turret. Makes it very easy for Caitlyn to say, oh, I know exactly where you're going to show up. It is, of course, behind, so I put the trap there. And then you TP straight into a trap, and you die.
Huh.
Yes, that is in fact what happened. Big oopsie there.
Now, Niski knows that too, so into a match. Bit of a fumble there, but it does mean that Vitality get sole control over Rift Herald on top of what is already a 4K gold lead.
Yeah, so to get the first turret, they got the shutdown as well for Mini Trupax right there. He's currently over 2,000 gold ahead of Copy, and we're 15 minutes into the game.
What I need.
Splyce trying to go toe-to-toe with Vitality, trying to match a lot of this aggression, but really Vitality able to consistently match back. We thought maybe this would be a really good sign after they found so much success in that first bot lane play, but Vitality did not let them sit on that lead for even a minute.
I think Vitality is so happy with how Splyce are trying to play this game, because Splyce are playing right into the strength of Vitality, which is early game aggression, being able to constantly move around lanes, quick TPs, and always looking for the fight itself.
And we talked a lot about how Xerxes was often the catalyst for Splyce's early game success and late game teamfight initiations. So far, Xerxes hasn't had that much of an impact, but when you kind of relied on the individual prowess of Cobbett and Kasing, you've gone up against Trupax and Jack Troll, who are kind of known from the regular season for just being, to a degree, mindlessly aggressive, always looking for plays, always looking for skirmishes in the 2 versus 2, and it was often them that was coming out on top.
So is it a bad thing when your AD carry has a BF sword and a pickaxe, and the enemy AD carry has a fully complete Infinity Edge and a fully complete
You technically have
ship?
6 items in your inventory if you're
I've got to be honest
So
with
if
you.
we look at the numbers, it's 6 versus 4.
That's a valid point.
There's a lot of yellow on the side of Vitality. Maybe that could be enough to contribute, but they do have a lot of crit with the Infinity Edge, with the static shift. They now have their eyes set on the mid-tier 1, and that's going to be a 3-0 tower advantage to Vitality.
And Mini Trupax right now has the highest kills plus assists out of any player so far this flip in the early game. He is so insanely fed that as long as they just group around him, he will win you the game.
100% kill participation. This man making it look like a solo queue performance the way he is dominating right now.
Now, gentlemen, we do have to remember that Baron spawns in about 2.5 minutes. And Vitality's kryptonite is the big purple worm. In their last semi-final, they didn't really set up for Baron. Often they were just reacting to a lot of what Fnatic did themselves. They were constantly on the response, and they were the ones to try and stop Fnatic, trying to make the counteractions rather than setting up for themselves. You have to hope that coming into this third-place decider, Vitality have cleaned up some of the Baron issues that have plagued them for so long.
And we heard from Yamato at the start of the day, it wasn't about learning new things, it was about fixing some of the issues. One of those issues might be Baron. Getting a clean one here would be an excellent start to the series for the team. Might make Splyce a little less confident coming into the mid-game of Game 2.
Luckily still 2 minutes, where you can look for a fight instead of your Vitality and get a little bit further ahead before you gotta play that slow Baron dance on your side. Bot lane, the tanks continue to try and kill the minion waves and not each other. So we don't really care about them so far in this game. We only care about the other side, where we get a ton of kills.
And of course, the team lead means that you do have the banner of command, ensuring that the tanks will just get to auto-attack minions for a while. But the mid lane a little bit more interesting. You can see already the Seraph's Embrace completed for Jizuke, still lagging behind for Niski, and well on the way to the death cap here. That's going to be a huge spike in damage.
It's definitely a valuable pickup for Jizuke, who has had a pretty great performance so far this game. Not as afraid of the Zoe as he was previously last week. He's clearly found ways to deal with it, given all the advantages that have been gained in the bottom lane. On Sensor even being picked up for Jack Troll to better enable many troops.
Also Righteous Glory for Gilius. Nothing looks funnier than an Olaf with Predator and Righteous Glory being popped and buff up, you know, from a Karma as well. He's gonna be so quick to actually rush into the enemy team. And I think if you're Vitality, it's not about the slow and perfect Baron setup. It's about forcing the enemy team to show up and you just turn. Click Righteous Glory, run at them, destroy them in just a matter of seconds, or run at the enemy Cho'Gath. Works as well.
Click Righteous Glory, got a little bit of true damage there. Is going to use the Ragnarok now, starting to run forward. Find a bit more. True damage burns down there from the challenging smite, but not enough to kill Odoamne. Enough to push him out of the lane, however. Give a pressure point over to Vitality, but with Gilius on the bottom side, chance for Splyce to respond.
You can see Jizuke hanging around the bottom side of Splyce's jungle, looking for a potential ulti towards the bottom lane. They do have decent vision control in that area of the map, and Vitality just keeping all 3 lanes pushed so they can continue to extend the vision. The Baron that we talk so much about, spawning in about 5 seconds. Vitality have their eyes on it. Can Splyce find a way to stop it, or will Vitality close out what has been a pretty solid early game?
See Vitality eager to get a bit of vision control down. They know Baron's right around the corner for them. In a good position. Maybe hoping to get the fight from Splyce, but want the vision set up necessary to do so.
Doing all the steps correct so far. Pushing top and mid, getting deep vision. Splyce, of course, trying to defend it. Kind of just a matter of time before we see someone getting caught out with the amount of engage on Vitality's side with this Olaf.
No, and it's something about Splyce's comp that I've been thinking a little bit about Deficio. I think even in a full 5v5, it can be rather difficult to get onto that Caitlyn when you've got a Talia and a Karma, and the only real threat is either an Odo on a flank or Xerxes getting a flash ulted, but the QSS has already been completed. So the biggest threat that Splyce have to deal with, I feel like they don't have a comp that's really designed to shutting it down.
And this is the struggle when you fall behind on the Skarner, when people get to get those QSSs ahead of even the 2-item spike for your AD carry. You lose a lot of that impact. And for many true packs, he doesn't even mind. He has the Ardent Sensor. He just gets to push this tower down for free.
I mean, he's so far ahead, and his support is buffing him up as well. Jizuke did use his ulti just to block the rest of Splyce from walking top lane. So once again, Vitality making sure they just get more and more for themselves, not giving any chances of a Splyce comeback so far. And poor Kobe down that bottom lane, still trying to get 2 items on his side, and the enemy AD carry, he's far ahead of you.
Working towards the rapid fire cannon already. You know, one of the great combos that we saw.
Don't even want to see the items anymore.
Yeah, one of the great combos we did see from Splyce during the regular season was the Zillion Caitlyn combo, where it's very easy to gain mid priority because you just speed up your AD carry, you run up with the rapid fire cannon on a Caitlyn, you hit him in the face with a big crit, and then you run away.
This is a slightly different strategy. It's
slightly different.
My Caitlyn is so fed that it doesn't matter what happens. As long as I speed her up, she'll kill someone.
Exactly that. You have the Karma to speed them up, and it becomes very easy for Vitality to just pretty much gain control wherever the Caitlyn is.
For now, they are going to be looking to shift a little bit of that control over to the Mountain Drake, picking up their second of the game. Will join the Infernal they got earlier alongside the 7K gold lead. Massive lead at 20 minutes for Vitality. I mean, dominating the early game, but I don't think anyone expected this much in the first game.
No, and also just surprised again by Splyce being so aggressive. Clearly, we're not really used to that style and made some mistakes which got punished super hard by Vitality themselves. Mountain Drake's going to help with the Baron. It feels like at this point, if Splyce cannot steal a Baron, it's hard for them to get back in this game.
Definitely a difficult place to be, and you can see, luckily for them, Nissi can still be a little bit of a threat here, at least onto the Caitlyn if she's left alone, but Vitality starting to posture around the Baron area. Have to see what their next objective is. Splyce feels like they're on the back foot. Feels like they just have to let Vitality dictate the pace of this game.
Again, 5-1-1 Zoe. Niski has been able to pick up a lot of the kills, and he controls a lot of the gold right now for Splyce. His damage expected. So when Vitality are sieging, they have to be very aware in the event that a Sleepy Trouble Bubble might land, and then the flash ulti from Xerxes. That pick threat still exists from the side of Splyce.
We do see Vitality take another outer turret, mid lane going down. They're constantly looking towards the Baron, kind of getting ready to do it, and it's going to be a big test for them. If they secure the first one cleanly, suddenly Splyce will just lose this first game, and Vitality will have a ton of confidence after a good game plan, a lot of comfort picks on their side, Talia, Caitlyn, Sion, everything they normally would like to get in the draft. Splyce gave to them in the first one, and losing those early fights means that now you are so far down that you rely on enemy mistakes to get back.
And we talked about the importance of red side in this best of 5. This was Splyce's red side game, the one where they got to choose the side, where they got to dictate the pace. They gave up the Caitlyn. They traded it for the Braum, also for the, I wanted to call him Kha'Zix, I don't know why. For the jungle.
Skarner.
Thank you. I blanked.
Basically, Kha'Zix. What's the difference?
Basically. And it hasn't really done much, I think is the takeaway here. It has not been the biggest impact. It did get the ball started, ball rolling, but wasn't really enough.
I mean, let's not forget that Gilius gave up first blood. And everyone thought, okay, well, Gilius, is it going to be one of those Gilius games, or is it going to be a Gilius finding a bounce back? And so far this game, he has been able to bounce back very effectively. A scoreline of 1-2-5 right now. His confidence has not waned after what was a mistake. And now he is at the forefront as Vitality continue to maintain control over the top side of Splyce's jungle.
Oh, we got a replay.
We got
now?
a replay. Let's look back.
Yeah, this is what you don't do level 1.
Dun 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 dun. No. That's a big oopsie.
The awkward flash into Kave.
Like, what are you
that's
doing
the ultimate
here?
feels bad. You're supposed to be with the rest of them. Stun does go out. Seems like a grim start, but I mean, crazily enough, that Vitality just have been turning it around since that moment. After the bot lane play, you thought maybe this was Splyce's game to dominate early on, but not really getting the chance.
But I do think that's the great thing about Gilius. No matter what happens, he always thinks he's the greatest jungler on the planet. So even if he gives away first blood, he loses 4 Barons in a row. He doesn't care.
He's going to go in. He's going for the Tristana. That's a lot of damage coming in overall. Here comes the Caitlyn ultimate. Kasing is going to drop the TP coming in, but it's immediately going to get canceled. Is that pick enough to give Vitality control of the Baron?
They're still very healthy. They got the Karma here. They should just go for it. Xerxes' flash is ready, so that potential Baron steal will always be there. Vitality is the team that allows the most potential 50-50s to happen because they often do not deny entrance to Baron. Jizuke, great wall on his side, and now Xerxes can't really get close enough.
Flash is going to cover all that distance. Maybe he wants to go in, but it will be the Baron dropping down for Vitality. Exactly the start that they wanted in Game 1. A clean Baron take for this lineup.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're bearing witness to one of the cleanest Baron takes the Vitality have had this split. Excellent coordination, no steps were skipped. Yamato was true to his word as Vitality seemed to have fixed some of the issues that were plaguing them for so long.
And now a 10k gold deficit for the side of Splyce. I know you guys have talked about going to Game 2 already, but are we at that point? Are we at the point where Splyce are out of options to come back? What do we look for on this side?
Vitality have been a great team with Baron itself, where they typically are able to get multiple objectives whenever they grab the buff. So at this point, yeah, it should be just Vitality going straight into that base, getting one last fight, and then closing out the first game, being, once again, happy with how it turned out. They're looking at Splyce trying to play more aggressive early game. That backfired completely. And then again, this pick and ban phase on blue side, Vitality still managed to get basically all the comfort picks they wanted.
Everything they needed. They get the Talia. Splyce have an answer, but they also get the Caitlyn and the Karma as well, showing itself to be a solid pick in the hands of Jack Troll, supporting mini Trupax. Little Wame. I think a lot of damage just trying to attend here. Ooh. Beautiful seismic shove comes in. Not going to be enough to kill him in the end, but kind of just slowly running this one down. And while these guys are trading blows back and forth, Mini Trupax has his eyes set on the prize here, cutting through this inhibitor.
Vitality looking so clean. So much respect has been given to them from so many other teams about how scary this team looks when they get that early lead. Vitality, they have found it. They punished the early aggression from Splyce, but now we see a fight.
Try back this one out. Still untouched on the backside is Mini Trupax. Him and Jizuke alive and well. Niski trying to get something back, but cannot connect on the Sleepy Trouble bubble. Will not find anything. Just the one kill going down. Oduama giving his life for nothing in exchange.
And now for Splyce, that backside game's the wall. Their focus must be on the rest of this series. Yes, it was a bad performance, but something that we discussed in the draft was very much that giving away these comfort picks is not the most dangerous thing in a Game 1. It allows you to identify, can we deal with it properly? Was it just a simple execution error, or are these individuals just too good on these champions?
It's just so rough that your first game on red side, the side where both teams pick up basically all the wins. We've had one blue side win for Vitality all split long. We've had 2 blue side wins for Splyce. Now, of course, Vitality barely played blue side because they always pick red when they have side selection, but it's been tough for them to win the draft on that side. And again, they look at this and they think they had everything they needed, winning bot lane, pushing mid, jungler that can 1v1. So they are basically just happy with everything that happened. And now with them being this far ahead, I think it's super, super tough for Splyce suddenly to bounce back because everything you prepared just backfired.
Now backing off to look to siege up on this tower. Cabo, it's just too easy for them at this point in the game. Mini Trupax takes a step forward. You can see Zizuke hungry for an entrance onto the side here, but not going to find it immediately. Cho'Gath's going to get cut down. Jizuke now just moving forward with the rest of the lineup, trying to bring it home for this team overall. It's a slow, steady finish, gentlemen. Vitality just having their way with Splyce. You can see big old crits coming in. He's going to block what damage he can. Vitality trying to bring it home onto the base. A wall off just to make sure they can't get anywhere near this fight. It's PvE for the side of Vitality. They do not need to look for a skirmish here. They're just looking for the Game 1 win.
Vitality come in with their style. They come in confident. They make it look clean, and they shut down Splyce's game.
Good look over the pull one in the fountain. Not even going to get the kill. Beautiful win for Vitality.